Hey, what's up, everyone? Hopefully, everyone can hear me. We're gonna start in just a few minutes. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this live stream. Um, yeah, he's back. He's back. It's been a while. Had to kind of get things situated and yeah, get everything. Well, I'll go through my whole kind of story or what I've been up to the past. I would say few months since I've posted videos. But yeah, great to see you, Kevin. Super excited. It's funny when I'm showing my face. The one thing that I'm most worried about is like what I'm wearing. It's like it's the silliest thing. I just grabbed the shirt and I was like, all right, this works. Um, but yeah. So can everyone hear me? Or hopefully everyone can hear me. Audio capture. Let's see. Test test. Yeah, I think everyone should be able to hear me. Hi Tim. Can you hear me? Can you hear the audio? Okay, awesome. Awesome. Sweet. It's my first live stream. I'm super excited. We're gonna wait a few more minutes. Um, I already have 9 viewers. Hopefully we can get back to 10. Um, but yeah, super excited. This is gonna be Monday through Thursday, every week. So I'll be here every day pretty much except the weekend and Friday. So if you're building a site, you need help, I'll be here. There is a super chat function, so I just, either you can kind of hook me up with a coffee or send me a super chat for support. That would go a long way and would help me out in continuing the live streams. Um, yeah, and it's just kind of like rather than going to like an agency or something like that, you can just reach out to me for support and I'll be happy to help. Yeah, he's back. He's back. Yeah, yeah. Super excited. Nice. So we'll give it another minute. Um, yeah, and as I'm talking, feel free to ask questions in the chat. And if it's not a question pertaining to your specific site, and you just want me to cover something cool, like you see a website and you're like, oh, I want to make this, just post it and hopefully we'll cover it within the hour. But I have a cool thing that I want to kind of showcase. It's a little bit in depth, what I want to cover today, um, but we'll see if we get through it. So yeah, it's 12 o'clock on the dot. So hey Tim, hey LMTW, hey rock and roll, everyone in the chat, welcome. Super excited. This is gonna be an everyday thing, Monday through Thursday. And yeah, I'll just get started. I know a lot of you have probably been wondering, what I've been up to and and why I haven't posted videos in a while. It was at I think the end of 2018. I posted a ton of kind of awkward rap videos, like interaction videos with awkward raps at the beginning. I don't know what I was just trying something new at that point, and I was just getting into Webflow and I was super excited. But I do have kind of a little website that I made. It's called like Origin Story, so you guys can kind of get an idea of my origin story. Like we all have an origin story. We all have a history of how we got into web design, websites, what motivated us. And yeah, and I'll just go ahead and quickly share kind of my story and kind of give you an idea of where I'm at now, why I've decided to do these live streams, and yeah. So I can already see a few questions coming in. Tim, 8 years of WordPress, moving to Webflow with one client so far. Nice. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Manuel? Very cool. So yeah, I'll go ahead and kind of quickly showcase this little website that I made. It's called Origin Story, and I'll just quickly scroll through, and we can see we have this little kind of animation. So I'll go through the entire animation so we can kind of see it as it goes. And it's just a fun little timeline that I created in Webflow. Well, I used After Effects and Webflow. So that is the animation. And I'll go ahead and start with my origin story. So yeah. Hey Deshaun, how's it going? Cool. So origin story. So again, I'll scroll down. 2015 is when I started a design agency with my wife. It was called Velveteen Web Design Group. We built websites for businesses in New Hampshire. That was a lot of fun. We worked with some really cool businesses, like this up and coming cafe called Pressed Cafe. I think they're going to become a chain. So we built a site for them. We built a site for a bounce house company. Yeah, so it was fun. We built the sites in WordPress, and yeah, I mean, WordPress at that time was like the only thing that was pretty good. It did have actually at that time I didn't mind it because I didn't know any other alternatives. So that was 2015. And then moving on, so we did that. We did that for about a year, built sites for clients. My wife designed and I built the sites. 2016, so around 2015 to 2016, I started creating videos for Adobe Muse. And it was actually closer to the end of 2014, but I'll just say 2015. And let me just close my Slack here. Yeah, I'll just open it back later. And yeah, so 2014, yeah, I was like, started at 2015, 2016. I started creating videos for Adobe Muse. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, yeah, these live videos will be every day. So yeah, I started making videos. Adobe Muse is a program was a program that allowed you to build websites without code. It was super basic, just simple landing pages, but it had cool animations. If you never heard of it, just Google Adobe Muse. It has since been discontinued, but yeah, that was 2015, 2016, sorry. Then 2017, that is when I started developing plugins and or widgets for Adobe Muse. So actually, it's still up. The website is still up. If we can get this going here. So yeah, so this is the site. It's called Muse for You, and basically it's about Adobe Muse and my widgets. So I have tons of widgets here, and and templates. So I did this for a while. Did widgets and templates. I worked with someone else on the templates, and just have tons of templates, tons of content. I have a subscription for Muse, and yeah. So I did that for about 2 years, or no, like 2 or 3 years, and then 2018, Adobe Muse announced the end of development. So the engineers, the Adobe itself, decided to not continue to develop Adobe Muse, and at that point, Adobe Muse had some momentum, but I felt it could be a lot better. It was missing a lot of key components to web design, like Flexbox, and just a lot of design functionality was lacking in Muse. And I felt like had they continued to develop it, it could have turned into something really great, but they ended development, which hurt my business a little bit. I decided not to continue to develop widgets. I was developing like one widget every week for Muse, and I kind of stopped doing that. And then I started looking for alternatives. So I looked for other web design platforms. I knew I didn't want to go back to WordPress. WordPress at that point just seemed too clanky with plugins and just the way it was set up. I didn't want to use it. So I found Webflow, and Webflow created a video like trying to show people that Webflow was a good alternative. So I found Webflow, and then that's when you probably started watching the videos. The M and the W, yeah, for sure. That's just flipped it. So actually, my new website, it's very similar to that Muse one. I redid my site and everything. So this is the Web Dev for You site. I'll come back to that in a sec. But yeah, 2018, end of Muse. Muse ended development. I found Webflow, started making video tutorials and interactions on Webflow, and that was a lot of fun. And as I was doing that, I was looking at Webflow as a company, and I had talked to Vlad, the CEO of Webflow. I really liked how he thought about his company and his mission for Webflow. I met him in California, and I was just excited about Webflow in general, and I just liked the culture of Webflow. And near the end of 2019, I saw that they had a position for customer support. They were hiring customer support representatives. So I applied. I was making interactions, but I kind of wanted to be a part of the company culture and the company itself. So I applied, and this was around the end of July, and I got hired near the end of July, beginning of August, as a customer support representative in 2019, and super excited. I remember joining the company. I went on a retreat. They were having a retreat near the time I got hired, so I went to Mexico and met everyone at the company. Super awesome time, amazing company. Just love it. Just awesome company. So I worked at Webflow for 2 years. I just recently left to kind of go back to YouTube and templates. But yeah, I worked at Webflow for 2 years, and one of the greatest experiences of my life. Just like all the people that I've met, or like not even people, they're actually friends now. Like I have real connections with these, the folks that work at Webflow, and just to see how a company scales and to see how a company grows, it was a really interesting experience. And and I was just providing support every day to customers, and would never take that experience back. Having dealt with Webflow for 2 years, almost every single day, I feel really kind of proficient in it, and I feel I can now take that knowledge and provide it to the general, to the Webflow community in general, and not just, as a customer support representative. So that was a personal decision. I wanted to kind of build more interactions, do more creative things with templates and the YouTube channel. So Kevin asked, what was their take on your stream tutorials while working there? I didn't promote my stuff too much while I was there. A few folks knew that I had a YouTube channel, and that I had videos, and I got kudos for it, and it was great. Actually, my hiring manager at the time, he thought it was really cool that I had all these videos, and I think that helped me get hired, the fact that I had dealt so much with Webflow. But when I got there, I wasn't really promoting myself like as Web Dev for You, because at that point, I just wanted to be an integral part of the company, and help the company, and not what's the word? Show my own personal projects at that point. But there was a few folks who knew about my videos and things like that. Vlad knew that I did this stuff, and yeah, it was cool. But when you're working for a company like Webflow, it's like every day you go in, there's specific tasks you need to do. We need to support the customer. So all the side projects, those are more secondary, and hence why I didn't make videos while I was working at Webflow. I tried the subscription while I was working at Webflow, like to still make videos and have it be part of a subscription. But honestly, like working 5 days a week, answering Webflow questions, by the weekend, I didn't want to answer questions. I didn't want to make videos really, because I needed that time to reset for the next week, because, answering questions every day is a bit intensive. So, with the live stream, it's going to be 1 hour a day. I can definitely do 1-2 hours a day helping, the Webflow community with questions. But as far as like 8 hours a day, it got a bit intense for me. And that's not just the reason why I decided to. Obviously, I want to do other creative things. But yeah, that's the story of me working at Webflow. If you have any questions, about Webflow as a company, if you're interested in working at Webflow as a company, highly recommend it. Super awesome company, awesome people, awesome CEO. Vlad is just a really great mind with how he looks at the company, and yeah, there's a lot of great things coming for Webflow. So yeah, I kind of harped on that for a little bit. So let's go to now. So now I'm back on YouTube doing live streams, and going to continue to create interactions and animations and templates. So yeah, one of the things I did once I got back, and this was about, so like I left officially last week, so I jumped right into live streams, and I redid my website. So I wanted to simplify my website, make the UI a little bit easier to read. So this is my new web dev for you site. It's just a bit simpler, and everything's easy to navigate. We got templates. You can check out my templates. There's going to be more templates in the marketplace coming soon. Interactions. So in my previous site, you probably saw all those interactions on a specific page. I just decided to link out directly to my showcase page, and then you can just look, and I have over 150 interactions free. You can just clone them and see what I did and everything like that. If you want me to cover any of these interactions, like, just let me know. I'll be happy to do that during these live streams. And tutorials, my YouTube channel that we're currently on, there's resources to Webflow and Vado elements I use for design aspects. Learn UI design. So Learn UI design is a course that I took myself. I still have like a little bit to finish of it, but it is an amazing course. I cannot tell you how important it is to have design fundamentals before building a website. And from personal experience, after answering so many support questions, I can see that a lot of users get excited about being able to build a website quickly, but there are small fundamentals things about design that can really make your website stand out even more, and there's things like alignment, design and things like that, and color and all of that stuff. That's all important to good design. Thank you, LMTW. So Trey, was it not an option to join the team on Webflow's content video making team? Trey, that was an option. I considered that, but I like the flexibility of kind of having my own schedule in a way. And again, I wanted to go to back to templates. And as an employee at Webflow, you can't be an employee and be a part of the marketplace at the same time. It's kind of like that double dipping scenario where it's like, all right, you either work at Webflow or you kind of, are a YouTuber or a creator outside of Webflow. So I wanted to go back to templates and kind of have a more flexible schedule with how I did things. So thank you, Olga. Super excited to be here. Manuel asks, are your interactions built purely in Webflow or also with additional custom code? So some interactions do use custom code. Most of the interactions you see in my showcase, those are just Webflow. Those are just interactions in Webflow. The interaction I just built, this one was super quick. There's not a lot of design behind it. It's just like a line animating. This was built in After Effects, which I kind of want to showcase a little bit in this video if there's no kind of questions. So yeah, I think I covered basically everything I wanted to with my kind of origin story about, web design and how I got into web design, where I'm at now. I mean, I've been into web design since I think MySpace, and I think that might be true for a lot of us. Like, I remember getting into MySpace like early 2000s or something, or mid 2000s, and needing to use HTML to edit specific elements. And that was my first kind of, and I took HTML like in high school. I think I had little bits of web design throughout my life. And 2015 though was when I got serious with like wanting to build websites for clients, and it just kind of snowballed into WordPress, then Adobe Muse, and then Webflow. And now with all that knowledge I've accrued, I just want to be really relaxed about sharing this information, doing live streams, helping users with their own websites. so that, they can build really cool things. All right, so that's my introduction. Super excited to do these live streams. I think I've said super excited like 100 times now, but yeah, this is a work in progress. Obviously, my first live stream, and yeah. So if there's no questions, let's see. Kevin wrote, "Do you plan on using any of the newer strategies when developing, like tricks, wizardry, on FinSuite's clients first?" Yeah, I did see. Client First by FinSuite. Honestly, I haven't dug too deep into what FinSuite is offering. I did see they created like a plugin for Webflow, but I haven't dived dove deep into it. I have my own thoughts on plugins, and I'm sure what FinSuite created is probably amazing, but this is a hot take, just my opinion. I'm sure others might view this differently, but seeing the evolution of WordPress, seeing the evolution of Muse, someone who's been a part of the Muse marketplace, the widget marketplace, the more things outside of Webflow that are not native to it, obviously it's going to boost the Webflow ecosystem, and that's awesome. But this is a big but for me, but it can cause confusion for a lot of users. And just look at the WordPress plugin marketplace. How many plugins are in WordPress? Tons of that was loud. Tons of plugins. And honestly, when I go into WordPress to install a plugin, I don't have faith or trust that those plugins are going to do what they say, are good, or are not going to mess up my website. And I do look at the reviews for the plugins in WordPress, but WordPress is open source, and like anything can happen. And this is like one of the main reasons I wanted to join Webflow, and why I love Webflow is because they're trying to do things in a way that's native. Like they're trying to make all of these features that everyone wants, like like all these features that plugins do, they want to put those in natively and have a clear process of like QA vetting these features so that they work correctly, so that somebody who's new to Webflow or new to web design and says, hey, I want this feature, and when they use Webflow, the chances of that feature working like they expect is much higher to me than using a system like WordPress or using third-party plugins that haven't been tested or haven't been through the whole Webflow process. And I'm not saying FinSuite's plugins are not good. I haven't used them, and it's great. I mean, it's like they're trying to boost the Webflow ecosystem. But that's just my personal take. I don't want to use external things to Webflow that haven't been tested. And I'd rather use my own custom code before using third-party, things. It adds another layer to the web design process, and then you have to remember, okay, I'm using this plugin from this user, and I have to make sure that I'm integrating it correctly with Webflow and all this stuff. So Kevin wrote shots fired. Yeah, it could be. That's just my personal take, because I look back on Muse, and I think one of the reasons it didn't succeed is because there wasn't clear structure to it. There wasn't clear, processes behind the plugins that were created or the things. There was no filter or QA process. So anyone could enter the marketplace, including me. Like I benefited really well, like from being able to make plugins in Muse, but the market got so saturated because anyone can make a plugin with no QA process, right? And that to me watered down the product. It just made it not as good, right? Because anyone can make a plugin, and to me though, like when I made plugins, I tried to use the best practices when coding, when all that stuff, and I spent hours and hours updating, making sure the plugins worked. So for myself, I felt pretty good at what I was providing, but the barrier of entry to make a plugin in Muse or even WordPress, I think, is like super low. And this is where I think Webflow has the advantage, right? They already have a very good base and foundation, and the way Vlad is trying to scale that company, I don't see anybody else in the web space trying to do it like he's doing it. He's trying to do it from like a very solid base, and yeah, that's why I like the company, and that's why I really enjoyed working there. You know, and the idea of me not working there is just because I wanted to be a bit more creative, and I didn't want the 9 to 5 job thing going, which might be true for a lot of freelancers here on this YouTube channel. So that was a long-winded answer. I didn't mean to fire shots at anyone. I know, I don't know what's his name from FinSuite. I've met him personally, the owner of FinSuite. Great guy, looks super cool, looks super motivated and hyped about Webflow, which is cool. It just helps more people learn about Webflow. But I think in the coming years, when Webflow becomes more robust, it's going to be someone who's new to web development everything will just click easy, and they won't have to worry about plugins working or not, or using external things to make something work. I understand that that's probably a necessity now because Webflow's lacking maybe a few features, but I like the idea that everything's going to be internal. They have tons of engineers working on making sure everything works correctly, all the bugs are cleared out, and yeah. All right, so that was my little rant. I do want to get into some Webflow content. If there's any other questions, I'm actually excited about these questions. I love sharing this, and having worked at Webflow, it's just like, I can see things, and I can't share too much about what has gone on there or what's coming up. Obviously, I can't share that, but it's given me I guess the confidence, or not the confidence, but it's given me the knowledge to be able to share more information with the community and to actually help the community with what they need. So Junio, thank you. Appreciate it. Nice. So yeah, I'll just start building, and if questions come in as I'm building this site, definitely feel free to ask. This animation is a Lottie animation, so I really like using After Effects to build animations in Webflow. So I'll show you the After Effects file. It's right here. And basically what I did, I don't know if I'll have time to recreate the entire thing, but as you can see, we have this artboard, and if I play in After Effects, we can see the animation here in After Effects. So let me make it a little bit bigger. The artboard. So it's just a line drawing, and I'm actually moving the line with the position property in After Effects. So this is the line, and then I'm just moving it. So we can see this box here. Hopefully that's visible. We can just see it moves into the artboard, and we have this nice little effect. So Raphael, I love Webflow, but I feel like they're taking ages to come up with new things and update the system. I know they listen to us, but sometimes we are left in the dark and silent. I totally get that, Raphael. All I can say to that is like, and I get it, me too. Like as somebody working there, I did want to see like more things being developed, but building a solid company like Vlad is trying to do does take time. It doesn't happen overnight, and Vlad was focusing on scaling the company during these past few years and making sure that we had a solid base for the company for the vision that he has. His vision is to democratize the web and make Webflow this amazing kind of platform with all the features users need. But before you can do that, you want to make sure you have the right engineers. You want to make sure you have the solid base to make that vision come true. So at the expense of launching new features constantly, Webflow, I think, was focusing more on scaling and making sure that all the processes were in place so that when these features do get launched, it's done in the correct way. It's done in a way that the user base feels good about it. Feels like, okay, I waited this long, but I'm kind of glad I waited because this is amazing. And the engineers are working hard to develop these things, and it's not easy making sure all these different parts work together to add new features, but also make sure it works with all the other features. It does take time, and it does, again, Webflow wants to make sure there's no bugs either, right? Because the last thing you want to do is launch a new feature and then there's a bug and it has to be fixed, and so it does take time and all of that. But I understand, and I think the company is aware that we don't want to keep users in the dark. And No Code Conf is in, I believe, November of this year, and they're going to live stream it. So if you can't make it, it's going to be live streamed, but it's going to be in California. And I think during No Code Conf, everyone's just going to have a sigh of relief. They're going to be like, "Oh, that's why I waited so long for these features." Like all these features that I wanted, just wait for No Code Conf. I can't say too much, but it's super exciting. It did take time, and there wasn't a lot of new features for a while, but No Code Conf, I think, is going to be like that 360 flip where everyone gets excited again about what Webflow is doing. And I would just, kind of wait till No Code Conf in November, and some really cool things are going to be announced. So yeah, hopefully that answers that. But yeah, I get it. We all want these really cool features, and it's been taking some time. Cool. So yeah, I'll keep going with this animation here. I'll just kind of quickly, I might not do the whole thing, but I'll just show you my thought process as I was building it. So I started a new artboard here in After Effects, a new composition set it to 1920 by 1080. You can kind of pick any size you want for this this composition. But yeah, I left it at a 16:9 aspect ratio and 29.97 frames per second. That looks good. We'll call this comp timeline. Rock and roll SEO. I'd be interested to hear your feedback on the FinSuite browser extension after you've had a chance to use and evaluate it in detail. That sounds good. Yeah, for sure. I'll start looking into it. I'm not sure. I don't think, is it paid? It could be paid, but yeah, I'll look into it. I can even reach out to FinSuite if I have questions, and kind of, I could maybe have him on this live stream too. That would be kind of cool, and he could share his kind of thought process and share more about the plugin. If you'd be interested in that, let me know. I'll definitely reach out to him and see if that sounds good. I know he does a lot of cool websites, a lot of cool animations. Really like his stuff, for sure. All right, so I'll start this artboard, and boom. So right now it's just blank. So what I did here, I just opened up the path tool, free on Chrome only. Cool. So yeah, I'll install the plugin, and yeah, I'll know within the first few minutes if I like it or not. Yeah, I'm not going to go over it right now because I do want to prepare a little bit, because yeah, I just want to see it for myself. But within the first few minutes, I'll know, is this going to be another kind of extra thing to my workflow where I have to remember I'm using an extension? And, if it is, if I rather not use extensions, then I'll disable it. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. It could be awesome. I could just have my biases, but it could be awesome. Cool. Thanks, rock and roll. Yeah, let me mess with the plugin, and if I think it's really cool and I want to have him on here, then is his name Chris from FinSuite? Yeah, if I like it, and I'll reach out to him and ask him to join the live stream. Cool. So yeah, I'm loving these questions. I'm loving this live interaction right now. Cool. So as we're talking, feel free, I'll just go ahead and showcase this. So this is how I created the animation. Select the path tool in After Effects, and then I just drew a little timeline. So, with the path tool, just drew something like this. And set the stroke to like 5. And that was basically it. So if we move this kind of stroke I just created, right? So I went like this, and let me see here. Yeah, I went like this. Yeah, so it was something like this. Let me edit this path a little bit. Just gonna drag these out. Grab these lines here. Just gonna drag that out a little bit here. Something like this. Okay, Joe, that's the name. Cool. Bailey, hello. Nice to see you. Yeah, we've been having some cool discussions. Yeah, these live streams are going to be Monday through Thursday, every day, 12 to 1 p.m. I'll be preparing kind of like an interaction the day before to kind of showcase with everyone. And yeah, it can just be a good time to chat about Webflow. If you have questions or need help with your site, hopefully this live stream gains momentum, and we get newer users joining the live stream. And yeah, if you know users that are interested in Webflow and want to learn or have questions, feel free to send them to this live stream. Yeah, where we just kind of discuss Webflow, and I'll answer questions that a customer might have, or I'm so used to saying customer, that a user might have. I'm also really glad for having Webflow. Living in a third world country and earnings in stronger currencies by working with international clients has improved my life so much. Yeah, I get that. Olga, I agree. Would be great to see Joe here. Their extension is fire. Okay, might have to use it then. Might have to take a look. All right, cool. So let me center this anchor point. So let me select this, and let me select the anchor point here. I think it's Shift and double click, or is it Command? Yeah, Command double click to center the anchor point. Hello, I've literally just finished the nearly 2-hour video of the Studio VOR concept. Awesome. Thanks, Omar. Yeah, I did that a while ago. Hopefully, I think it's still relevant. Yeah, a lot of the information is still relevant. But yeah, a lot of users like that video. I had another video on grid, but I took it down because grid is so so kind of in depth and a little bit complex that I might create another video on how to use grid that's a little bit more straightforward. Would love to see mobile version of your conserve site. The desktop page was really inspiring. Yeah, I can do that. We can recreate that maybe maybe I'll create a similar site to conserve, and that could be a tomorrow session or Wednesday. I think I have a few things planned for tomorrow. But yeah, we can do that for sure. All right, so yeah, let's get back to this here. And yeah, so basically all I did was like, we have these lines, and I just moved them. So let's go in here, and I'll open up the position property. I hold down P on my keyboard, and then we'll start the position here. We'll go to, let me stretch this out. We'll go to 1 second, and we'll just move it up. Yeah, we'll move it up here. And we go to 2 seconds. Move it here. Right, and I want the corners to be in the center. Move this up, move it here. Move it here. Cool. Raphael wrote, talking about templates would be awesome if you had a course on it or something, how to design, develop, and follow the guidelines for selling templates on a Webflow page. There is the template guidelines. I think it's available. I'm not sure if it's available publicly, but yeah, if you're interested in templates, like definitely, I would just say, practice with Webflow and maybe make a template. And if you feel like you're getting proficient with developing a template or working with Webflow, apply to the template marketplace. That would be my kind of thing. I'll definitely showcase how to use Webflow in these videos, and maybe that can inspire others to develop, things like templates or their own sites. And I can go over my own personal templates if anyone has questions about how to use one of my specific templates. Yeah, Raphael, it sounds like, if you're building websites for clients and you're getting good at Webflow, just maybe try to make a template. And if it, you feel it's good enough, then just, I would say take the steps to see, how you can become a template developer. And, nothing's impossible. So, you got to just take those steps to, if you're confident in your work, the Webflow makes it pretty easy, I think, to reach out to the template marketplace, or like if you want to apply, I think you just have to let me see, template apply to be a template developer, Webflow, become a template designer. Yeah, so yeah, it's webflow.com templates/applications, and yeah, it goes out over everything and how you could apply. So yeah, I would definitely check that out. Cool. So yeah, we got that. So boom. Let me go to the 5 second. And 6 second. Okay, something like that. Okay, and for the path, so we can see it's not really, working out, like it's moving too much. So what we want to do is select the keyframes. If you've never used After Effects, like this might all seem very new to you, but I just want to showcase how I kind of created that interaction and added to Webflow. So we want this to be linear, like we want it to move linear in a linear fashion. And sorry about that, just moved my monitor. So we want to go to keyframe interpolation, and for spatial interpolation, we want to say linear. And this will make the path linear, like so that path that I just created, it's now linear. So yeah, that's basically how I did that. And I'm actually going to remove a few of these paths. I'm going to remove this path here. Okay. Yep, nice. Very cool. All right, so we just have that line. Yeah, and that's kind of the gist of how I created this animation. And I had this line drawing, so let me open up the position property, or actually the way I want to do this is, yeah, so let me go into the shape. And for this path, I'm going to add a trim path animation, and we're going to set the ending to 0, and the start, we're going to have a start keyframe, and as it goes up, we're going to draw it. So I'm going to say 20% when we get here. So the trim path just allows you to draw different paths. So actually we can just do 1 to 100 or 0 to 100. All right, so here we have this line drawing. So let me show it again. Oh, we want to set this to 100. All right, so let's try that. Cool. So let me zoom in a little bit. Nice. So for the position, actually for the starting position, I'm going to just move it up. Actually, let me undo that. Okay, so this position property is right here. I'm actually going to start it a little bit higher, so up here. Yeah. So as you can see, we can start getting like a cool animation in After Effects, like with the trim path property and After Effects. So hello Martin, welcome. Very nice. So that's pretty much all I'll show for this animation. And for the circles, so if we go to the live demo, I have some circles, and for the circles, what I did for this in After Effects, I just added an ellipse and, hold down Shift to make a perfect ellipse and filled it with black. And we have this ellipse here. And then I just moved it to each corner. So I have an ellipse here. And I can duplicate it. An ellipse here. Or a circle. Circle here. Here. Here, and one more. Okay, so if we preview, we can see the circles. And I had the circle scale in, so I'll showcase that one more time here. So for the circles, I had them scale in as they came in, and that's how I created the animation. The circle, I would need to align it a little bit better with that line. So ellipse 6. Yeah. All right, cool. So that's the animation in a nutshell. I'm not going to scale in the circles. But yeah, trim path in After Effects and then moving the entire animation. So it looks like there's a camera moving, and following the timeline. There's other considerations to this when adding to Webflow, like the size of the composition, how you want your users to kind of interact with this animation. And yeah, I would say like, the size of different elements and stuff like that would be a major proponent to like making sure this works correctly. But I did want to show a few techniques here in After Effects. All right, so the animation is just about done. So now I'm just gonna make this a little bit smaller, or the time I'm gonna shrink it down to 8 seconds. Okay, so we have our animation. And yeah, and there's a lot of other cool things you can do with like drawing a line in After Effects and bringing it into Webflow. All right, cool. So now I'm going to go to my extensions, body move in, and I'm going to export this Lottie animation. So I'm going to select it here. I'm going to call it, click these 3 dots, and I'm going to go into my Lottie folder, and gonna say timeline 2 and render. Click done, and that's all done there. So now I'll go into Webflow. I have a new project. I have a new blank project here, and I'll go ahead and add that Lottie animation. So let me just find it. Just gonna drag it and drop it into Webflow. So here we have timeline 2. And now if I preview, we can see it plays in Webflow. But I want this to play on scroll. So what I'm gonna do is add a div block, and I'm gonna set it to position fixed, and I'm gonna add a height of 5,000 pixels. Let's see. No, not position fixed. Position, I think absolute. Yeah, I want to set it to absolute. Yeah, so position absolute, and that just gives us some scrolling to the site. And what I can do is create an interaction. So I'll go into interactions, click the page trigger, and I'll say page scrolled. So I'll go back to that. So page trigger, page scrolled, start an animation. No, wait, no, sorry. Click the plus while page is scrolling. So it's a while page is scrolling animation. I'll play scroll animation, click the plus, and I'll call this timeline animation. Okay, then I'll select the Lottie element, and I'll click here, the plus, select Lottie. I'll start it at 0%, and when we get to the bottom at the page we'll say 100%. So now if I preview and I scroll, let's see, 100%. Let's see. So yeah, great thing about doing things live. Things don't always work perfectly, so that's okay. So I'm gonna hit save. There's one last thing, and let me just see if, yeah, for this Lottie animation, oh, that's why. I wanna set the Lottie animation to fixed and full, and that should do it, yeah. Okay, so we have the Lottie animation. We have this div block, which is 5,000 pixels in height. We put the Lottie animation inside of it and set it to fixed and full. So now it'll always fill the browser viewport. But as you can see, we have some white space on the side, and I found this really great forum post that showcased how to fix this. If you want to make Lottie animation full screen, but also retain its aspect ratio, you want to add this data attribute. So it's data preserve aspect ratio. So I'm going to copy that, go back into Webflow, select the Lottie animation, go into element settings. Here under custom attributes, I'm going to click the plus, and for the name, I'm going to add in data preserve aspect ratio. And for the value, I'm going to say X mid, Y mid slice. So this will make it full screen, but retain the aspect ratio of the animation. So data preserved aspect ratio, X mid, Y mid slice, and that's it. Now I'll publish, and it should be good to go. So I'll preview, and now when I scroll the site, it's full screen, and we have this little timeline going on. All right, and I probably want to adjust it so it's more in the center in my After Effects animation, but that's just a quick overview of how I did that. Kind of a fun thing, and obviously this probably would only work on oh no, oh look at that, It works well on tablet too. I mean, on mobile. It could work on mobile. Yeah. So very cool. Yeah, because we're trying to keep everything in the center, so I can see how that would work on mobile. Yeah, and there's no overflow because we use that data preserve aspect ratio. So even if it goes off the canvas, we do not get any sideways scrolling. And that's how that was done. And on this one, we do have these dates coming in: 2017, 2018, 2019, and now. So this text, it was just done by creating a div block. I can show that really quick. So those dates are just, let me see, div block. I'm gonna bring it to the front actually. So it's this one. So, I just created a div block, put some text inside of it, and set this div block to an overflow of hidden. And with the on scroll interaction, so with the while page is scrolling, I had each text start lower in the timeline, and then I brought in the text one by one. I brought them in and then moved them out. So it's just kind of like a scroll where it just like comes into the div block and then goes up. So it starts at 100, 0, and then negative 100. So each text has 3 timed actions. One is for when it starts lower, so it starts at the bottom. Then it goes to 0, so it shows within the div block, and then it moves up negative 100. So on the y-axis, it moves up negative 100 and goes out of that div block. So that's how I created the dates to match the animation. The dates were a little bit harder because I had to live preview here, and as I was live previewing, I had to see where to add the dates, and I didn't get it perfect, but as you can see, like I can see the timeline here and at what percentage to make the date come in to match the animation. All right, so won't get into more detail with that, but that's basically the gist of that. Hey Jonathan, good to see you. He wrote, hey John, good to see you, back doing your thing. Hello from New Zealand. Hello. Omar, I'm new in the Webflow game, so that's why I'm watching your videos. Yes, awesome. Happy to hear it, Omar. Yeah, I did something with my hand there. Yeah, if you have any questions about Webflow, this is the place to ask. If you do have questions about personal projects, I do ask that you send a super chat. As any questions about your personal site that you need help with, that's more of a service, I feel on this end. But any Webflow questions in general, I'm happy to answer them. But yeah, that's it for the first live stream. Super excited to do these every day. You might get sick of my face if you do see me every day coming in, but yeah, there's a lot to Webflow. It's an amazing program. I'll check out that FinSuite plugin. I know a few of you have mentioned that. But yeah, that's it. Any questions? I might extend the live chat a little bit past 1 to field any questions or any questions you have for me about Webflow, anything you would like to see in Webflow. Yeah, all of that good stuff. Sweet, 15 likes. That is awesome. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Thanks so much. Looking forward to the next. Thank you, Manuel. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's just so many cool things that can be done in Webflow. I think maybe tomorrow we'll actually start building a site. I like animations and stuff, but sometimes it's good to see an actual build, like how I would approach it. And one thing with these live streams, when I'm building a site, and it's good to keep in mind just in general, there's probably a million ways to approach building a website or making a layout in Webflow, or whether you're coding. There's so many ways to approach a website build. For me, I'll just showcase like how I go about it. Things that I find are the path to least resistance when building a site. And yeah, I'll be happy to showcase that. So much questions, but I need to focus on the basics right now. For sure, Omar. Definitely. How to implement Webflow API to target collections. So I would check out Zapier for that. That's one question I did get a lot working at Webflow, how to use specific integrations. I myself am not an integrations guru or I don't spend most of my time with integrations. I like to focus on layout builds and animations and cool design. That's more my niche. But if you want to integrate really cool things with Webflow, like third-party applications, just do a Google search, Zapier, and Webflow. And there is a Zapier integration. This showcases how to use our API to integrate third-party applications into Webflow. And it is using the Webflow API. So, there's documentation on the Webflow API. So you can take a look and see how you can create CMS items and update CMS items via the API. Hopefully that helped. Graphic redesign. And thanks for asking. Jintel G, this was great. I'm interested in where I could find animation with Three.js. Any sources come to mind? You can integrate Three.js animations into Webflow. That could be a video I do. It's actually pretty straightforward because the Three.js script is on a CDN. Like I use for integrating custom code things like JS Deliver. It's a CDN with a lot of custom code scripts. I use this a lot. Just, throw in the Three.js. Like if I type in 3.js, I can get the CDN script for it and add it to my Webflow site. And then I can go on something like CodePen. Do I dare do it now? Who dares me to add a Three.js animation into my site right now? Three.js. Why not? It's actually much easier than one would think. So yeah, let me just get the Three.js script right here. Show and configure all links. And so I just need this script right here. And I'll go into Webflow. These are the things I actually have a lot of fun with, just creating like 3D stuff in Webflow. Sometimes it's not super user friendly. Just want to preface that. Sometimes it's not super user friendly to add like 3D AR moving things. Like a lot of times you want to focus on what the user is looking for. If the user is looking for AR and 3D things, obviously that's super cool. But we don't want to get overboard with it. And that's one thing I know for myself when I got into web design and being able to add all these cool effects. I just wanted to add like the coolest thing I've ever seen, like 3D video game, everything, lines moving everywhere. But then as I started learning more about web development, I realized, people that are just trying to get information or need to see contrast between elements more clearly, sometimes they just want a simple site with nice design, and that can be more effective at times. But again, it's all your use case, your demographic, who you're trying to reach, because 3D could be awesome for your site, depending on your specific topic. Okay, I'm getting into a lot of different topics there. So let me add the 3.js script in the body tag. Just paste that right in there. Awesome. So now we have access to Three.js just by adding that script. And let's go to CodePen and let's see, particles. What's this? WebGL smoke. That's pretty cool. You can add smoke to your site. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I'm not signed up. Maybe we just look at 3.js examples. Do they let me use the code? Okay, here's the script. Body, okay. Script module. Yeah, so I'll just copy the script. I think it might be too much code. Let me find something a little bit more simple, like a cube or something. 3JS cube. .3D cube. Okay, so simple 3D cube. Let's add this. So let's just copy this code here. And if I butcher this, my apologies. So we have the script, and I'll just add the script in here. I do believe we need a class. We need to target, or maybe not. No, I think it's appending to the body. I think that's it. I think we might have a 3D cube already. So let's check it out. We do not. And that's because I need a canvas. Position. Wait, can I add a canvas? Inner width. Yeah, I do need to add a canvas. Can I do that in Webflow? Huh. I think I would need to embed this. If anybody knows, thank you. I'm taking a 3JS class and I'm already loving Webflow. I want to see how they work together. I have a lot of art, fashion-based clients, for sure. I definitely want to help you with this. Just having a little lap, or like can't figure out if we can add canvas to Webflow. Adding canvas to Webflow. And okay, it might be for tomorrow's video because I'll have to research this. But let me try this. 3JS position fixed, full, and can we target 3JS script scene with point of light, render, inner width. Require is not defined, cannot read property of WebGL. Okay. Yeah, Jintel, come back tomorrow and I'll show you how to do this because there's just a few things that I'm overlooking. I know it's like I have to work on some script tag and assign the script to a div block so we can see the 3JS in Webflow. But it can be done. I'm 100% sure it can. I just wasn't prepared to kind of showcase that. So I'll just spend a few minutes this evening and prepare that for tomorrow. So I'll definitely show you how to add 3JS to Webflow. And cool. Very nice. Yeah, a lot of my things I like using After Effects to create Lottie animations because Webflow supports Lottie natively and there's no custom code. So I like that. But 3JS is just so cool. I can understand why you would want to add that. Awesome. Yeah. 12 p.m. tomorrow. I'll showcase Three.js. All right, graphic redesign, how to give each CMS item its own set of lightbox images instead of each CMS item only having one lightbox item. So how to give each CMS item its own set of lightbox images instead of each CMS. Yeah, there's a video tutorial on how to do that. Again, I think this would fall under personal website help. I'm not sure, maybe it doesn't, but yeah, I'll showcase the video. If you want me to go through it and actually show you how to do it, this would be one of those super chat functions where I'm going through and showing how to do something in Webflow. The Three.js, I'm okay with showcasing that because it's just custom code. And if Gentel had a specific Three.js animation she wanted to include, I would consider that super chat. But I'll show you graphic redesign. There's a video for that, and that's multi images in Webflow. The multi-image field. So I would recommend watching this video. It goes over how to use the multi-image field and how to link all the images to a lightbox. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Basically, you add a multi-image field to the CMS collection, add images, then add then add a collection list to the collection page, and connect. Wait, how would that? Yeah, add a lightbox to the collection item in the more images collection list, and then link the lightbox with the same group name, and then you could click and see all the images in the lightbox. Super chat not working for me. So let me see. Let me just test that out. This is my first one, so maybe super chat isn't working, which would be a bummer. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, if you click on show chat, there should be, like, in the chat right under where you type, there's like a dollar symbol. If you click there, and just to showcase it, I'll showcase it here. So here we have the chat. If you click show your support, you can send a super chat, and this will allow you to send a super chat. It just says a message cannot be sent. Okay, I'll have to look into that, Jonathan. So yeah, I'll look into that and see what could be going on there. I'm just testing it out real quick. Okay, this is a test. Always got to test. So 1. All right, let's see if I got that super chat. Your message has been delivered. Okay, yeah, I got it working. Show, yeah, not exactly sure why it's getting that message, but yeah, it is my first time using it, and it's kind of newer technology for me in a way. It's been around for a while, but there could be hiccups with it. Oh, I'd love to know what you would do with TED tedxauckland.com, built by a volunteer. I think it could be much better in Webflow. Sweet. Thank you for the super chat. Super awesome. So let's take a look. tedxauckland.com. Okay, cool. So I'd like to know what you would do with TEDx. Okay. I'd probably go for like a cooler design maybe, but it all depends, like, you know, what the designer had in mind. I'm not loving the hover. It's really subtle, but it's doesn't give me enough fluidity with the hover effect here. If I click, that's okay. I mean, I can see it appears below. These look like tabs. Not loving that this little arrow goes above the line when I hover. It looks, doesn't look cohesive. Overall, the layout isn't bad. So let me zoom out here. So layout isn't bad, you know, it's following pretty good alignment. There's a form here. I'll have to navigate to the other pages. Events. Yeah, it's not bad. The user interface, the user experience isn't terrible. I mean, blog, I can easily access content. Was there something in particular you wanted to change, Jonathan? Yeah, user experience looks pretty good. If anything, I would say like it could possibly use a design boost, but you know, let me see if the like TED Talks or TED, right? So I look at this. That's pretty similar to, you know, the grid elements here. One thing I like to see on websites sometimes is shadow. It just gives the site more depth. You know, adding little shadows here and there, like in the navigation, like having the navigation separate, or adding a shadow, or adding some interesting shadows to the cards. That could be really cool. Let's see. Conferences. Yeah, I mean, if it's an offspring of, or offshoot of TED, I would try to maybe make it look a little more like this. And I like how they have a large image here, a hero image. This is cool too. Like I can immediately pick my category. I don't see that so much here. TEDx Auckland. Yeah, the homepage doesn't. It's cool. I mean, yeah, if I immediately want to know what's going on in Auckland, I can just click and get more information. Overall, I like it. I like the user experience. Jonathan says, I think it needs a design refresh, better content architecture, discovery, and related content suggestion, personalization. Yeah, for sure. I could see that. You know, I would try to get inspiration from other sites. Like I use awards.com to get inspiration, or I would try to find other sites similar to TED. You know, like TED Talk. Let me see if there's anything here. Or TED. Yeah, so I would find other sites that are similar to TED Talks. And here's another one, TED. Oh, look at this. So yeah, it looks like different sections or different countries have their own TED websites. So this is Ted Bethesda. And so looking at this, right, like this is some cool design. I don't like the particles in the background. I don't think that adds a lot to the site. But maybe it goes with this image here. They have some parallax animation. You know, it all depends what you're going for. You know, again, I don't consider myself a designer, but if you hired a designer to revamp your site and you came on the live stream and said, "Hey, I need to rebuild the site. Can you help me?" I would for sure guide you through building any type of new design. But as far as like a full redesign, I would definitely recommend reaching out to like a UI designer, you know, have them design something in Figma, and whether you want to hire a developer or build it yourself, you know, that's up to you. If you do decide to build it yourself, like, and you need help, come on the chat any day, Monday through Thursday, and I'll help you out. But yeah, it just compared to some of these other sites, let's take a look at all the other TED sites. And we'll see. So this is TED Tugla Road. They have a pop-up. You know, this is okay. I mean, they have a theme. They have a dark theme going on. You know, compared to your site, like yours is on par with it. I don't like all this moving stuff they have going on here. Like they have some hover effects that feels unnecessary. But compared to your site, yeah, like your site is very clean. I do like that about it. It's clean, and it's very focused on content. And maybe it could just use a little bit of embellishment with design to just emphasize or give the site a unique angle. But as far as how the content is displayed, I do like it. You know, right away I can watch video. It's all very easy to navigate. I would say the user experience is like 7, 8 out of 10. Design would probably be like a 5 out of 10. So yeah, in that case, like my recommendation, if you felt like the design is lacking as well, I would look for a UI designer and yeah, have them design your site. Here we have Ted Portland, and I'll be ending the live stream soon. So this is Ted Portland. They have a video right off the gate. That's cool. Oh, I like this image here. That's bold. They have videos. Oh, so this is very video focused, but again, I think yours wins above this site because the content is much easier to navigate on your site. I'm scrolling through all this and I don't even know which video to watch first. Like there's so many videos. Like what should I watch first? Like give me an option to pick what I want to watch, or give me some more categories. All I'm seeing on this site is just video, like full screen videos, and I would not know where to click. So there are good things about your site that I really like. Just easy clickable cards, gives me the information I need. I have the titles, you know, there's a nice nav. The hover effect is okay here. It's kind of it's a little bit not janky, but it's just scaling in a weird angle. You know, I might have it scale from the center or, you know, something like that. And then the current state, it's okay. I can see it goes down with the line above it. That's not bad. But yeah, I think this site has a lot of good things going for it, for sure. Definitely with the accessibility to content, super easy. Design refresh, that's, yeah, you know, maybe go on Dribble, find a designer, or even Fiverr. Like you might find a designer on Fiverr. You know, like Fiverr is like a company where you can get really good freelance work for not a lot of money. And just, you know, and the fact that you already have a site, a designer, you know, would probably have an easier time being like, okay, they have all the cards, they have all the content there, they just want to make it look a little bit better. Maybe some graphics or some nice icons or something, just to give it a a design system, a layout, something to make it pop a little more, yeah, I would try something like that. And then, development for this would be probably pricey depending on who you go with. But again, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. If you want to take on building the site, I'll be happy to take a look at your Figma file and be like, hey, this is how I would build this particular site, and help with responsiveness and everything like that. So hopefully that answered the question, or helped. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate you saying that. Sounds like great advice. But yeah, I went 22 minutes over. I'm just really excited about these live streams. I won't go 20 minutes over usually in the next ones, but because this is the first one, just excited to be here with everyone and sharing this information. So I see that we have more viewers. That is awesome. So, tell friends, tell your friends, tell any new Webflow developers that you know, or anyone wanting to get into Webflow, that this stream is available. I'm here just to talk Webflow, help you with Webflow, shoot the breeze, answer any questions that you might have with web design and using Webflow. So that is it for this live stream, and I think it was cool. I showed some cool things in After Effects and Lottie. We we went over some questions, answered some questions, and yeah. So again, this is going to be every Thursday, not every Thursday, every Monday through Thursday, 12 to 1 p.m. Central Time. I will be here in this chair 4 days a week to help with anything and everything Webflow. Thanks again, everyone. Really, really appreciate you. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.